Welcome to the Gospel Road. I know it's been a little while. Things have been a little crazy for me for the past month that I haven't had a chance to get anything recorded. So I'm kind of working on that today. Hopefully your summer is going well for you. I know things are really kind of turning for me. I'm really falling into a different part of life, which is just crazy. Of course, I started doing some videos that I've been posting to YouTube, which I haven't even had a chance to do one of those lately yet either. But it's a lot of good things. And for me, many of you know how spiritual I am. That, God is really opening a lot of doors for me, which is fantastic, and is putting me in a completely different way of thinking as I'm dealing with a lot of pieces in my life, which is, again, I don't know. It's just crazy. I'm not even really sure how to describe it because it really is indescribable. And I was having coffee with someone this morning, and we were having the conversation about how, for me, it's been a lot of leaning on my faith because of how things I've done in my life. Decisions that I've made and how I have to deal with things. And by no means is it easy. But again, things are really starting to turn around. And I've got a couple trivia things that I'm doing. Just God opens weird doors, things that you're not expecting. And then it's funny when you talk to people about your purpose, talk to people about what you think you should be doing, and they have all these grand ideas for you. And you're like, okay, I'll try that. And they seem to not take you anywhere. And then all of a sudden, something just falls in your lap that you were not expecting. And that's the way a lot of times I think life goes. And we need to sit there and be ready, be prepared, and be open to many things that could come your way to say, maybe that's something I do need to try. When you're doing that, that is the same thing when it comes to working on yourself, spiritually, physically, mentally, which is what we discuss a lot with the Gospel Road, as well as leadership, really, because we are all leaders. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what position you have, because you are a leadership at home. You are a leader with your friends. You are a leader at work, depending on, even if you're not in management, it's with coworkers. If someone comes to you and asking you a question, we're all setting by example on how we do things. And a lot of times when it comes to leadership, they keep trying to say that here is what it is, and not everyone's a leader, which is true. Not everyone is a leader, but we are all leaders. Not all of us are looking for that supervisory or management position, but in one way or another, we all have leadership in our lives and how we inspire and motivate others by things that we say and what we do. And maybe a lot of times that we don't even realize what we're doing in those that are watching us, or the people that we just come in contact every day, just saying hi and opening doors, waving, asking how they're doing. It's those real simple things that many of us, I think, forget that we need to remember, of how that really can change someone's life. So today, we're going to look at Psalms 58. And it's interesting when you read many of the Psalms, how a lot of them were turned into songs. And then you're reading the words and they go, well, they were singing this? I don't know, maybe it's just me. But here's what it is. Psalms 58 says, "Do you indeed declare what is right, you gods? Do you judge the children of man uprightly? No, in your hearts you devise wrongs. Your hands deal out violence on earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray from birth, speaking lies. They have venom like the venom of a serpent, like the deaf adder that stops its ear, so that it does not hear the voice of charmers or of the cunning enchanter. O God, break the teeth in their mouths. Tear out the fangs of the young lions, O Lord. Let them vanish like water that runs away. When he aims his arrows, let them be blunted. Let them be like the snail that dissolves into slime, like the stillborn child who never sees the sun. Sooner than your pots can feel the heat of the thorns, whether green or ablaze, may he sweep them away. The righteous will rejoice when he sees the vengeance. He will bathe his feet in the blood of the wicked. Mankind will say, surely there is a reward for the righteous. Surely there is a God who judges on earth. Sometimes you read these and you're like, wow. I mean, think about it. In today's world, when they're talking about ripping out fangs and, ripping the teeth from the mouths. But think about that. I mean, a piece as you are growing yourself to be stronger, when you're trying to find your purpose, you're trying to make that next step, figuring out where it is that you're going to go. There are many people out there that are going to have ideas for you. And their ideas may not actually be the ideas for you, the ideas that you need to actually be acting and moving towards in your life. Again, it's keeping your ears open, listening to what's happening, seeing the things that are being brought before you. And then really trying to understand how that can be done. So, for me, I have a lot of things that I work with trying to kind of bring it all together. And some work, some are working slow, but doing the best that I can. Now, a few things that all of a sudden are just launching for me. I'm doing a trivia thing at a local indoor golf and pub here in Central Iowa. I've got a monthly one that I'm doing at a winery. And then also there's these things that I'm working with nonprofits with some trivia dinners that's going to help them with fundraisers. Those are just some small things that really work together, going along with the voice work that I do, the voice acting, because being in radio and people looking for me to do commercials for them, and as well as being a voice acting coach and helping people really learn how to use their voice, and in many ways, not just doing voices, but how to use it to project and to have when they're in front of people. And maybe even, trying to overcome the fear that you have, either standing in front of people or using a microphone. A lot of these things that are there, and people really are not thinking about those pieces. It was interesting because I know many of you know that I did a audition months ago for an event that's going to happen in September, which I'm still praying and finding out, where that is, because I did the fundraiser. It didn't really work for me very well. So now it's trying to, pull the money together to be able to do it. But even getting the money together, it's coming up with the transportation costs, for the hotel, for the gas, being able to actually take that time and go over and do it. And I'm not sure what God's plan is, but that's really where it's being left for them. But it was funny listening to them during the audition, and when it came to acting coaches, and the comment that was made of how no matter who it is, you have actors that have been doing it for years, like George Clooney, or you also have Cloris Leachman, even people that haven't been doing it very long. But the list can go on and on and on. I mean, you can think of an actor and know who they are, that they have an acting coach, and they've had them for years, and they keep them because, number one, it keeps them honing their talent to get better and better. Two, it's helping them when they're learning lines, when they have a part coming up in a movie or a TV show or whatever it is that they might be doing. It could even be a play or a musical that they are doing in New York. But they all have that. I mean, even for me, being in radio over the years, learning ways to really be better and hone my talent so I know what I am able to do. And I'll be honest, for years I didn't really do anything with it. It's only been in the past handful of years that I've really trying to be focused on that. And not like I have a lot of options here in my area that people actually do that and can walk you through. So you've got to kind of reach out and figure out on your own how I'm going to be able to really motivate myself and really help myself become better. And so I'm taking a lot of that and putting it together and helping others, opening that door for them so they can really hone what they can do and kind of really help them find the purpose that they want. And reading Psalms 58 of the people that are out there just kind of, saying things. And a lot of times, you've got people that are saying, well, this is what you should be doing. And a lot of times that's maybe them judging what you're doing. Maybe they don't think what you do is right, so you should be doing this. And it's interesting because I've had people say, you should take your talent and do something, with the church and with this. And so there's been a lot of places that I've applied, churches or other Christian type of organizations that never goes anywhere. Either they find somebody who has more experience than I have, or again, you're not even able to get past the gatekeepers on how when you're applying for jobs anymore. But then it just makes me sit there and go, well, is this really where God is wanting me to go? You think it is, but is that really where God says your talent can be used for me? And then all of a sudden, all these other things just really start falling into my lap, and it makes you stop and think about your priorities and going, well, really, what is it that I need to be doing? Where is it that I'm supposed to be? All I can do is my answer is you just leave that door open and you keep listening, you keep praying, meditating, thinking, taking that time to yourself, having, as you're working on that personal relationship with God, which is at the same time working on that relationship with yourself, because we need to have that, confidence in ourselves, which I know that's a huge problem that I have when it comes to self-esteem. I actually had a person tell me last week, I take loss of job better than I take compliments. And I cannot deny that. A lot of times people compliment me and I will be embarrassed or ashamed. I'm just like, thank you. Sometimes I'm even thanking them begrudgingly because, I'm not seeing this. But again, we are our own worst critic. And some of us are harder on ourselves than others. I know I'm terrible on myself. But, I have a lot of things that I'm still, demons that I'm working through, issues that have happened, going back to childhood. And it's that day by day step that we take as we're working through those. And sometimes you're working on them, until forever. Just like when you read in Paul, who was really fighting, even with all the encouraging words that he gave, but still fighting what he was in his past and what he had done when he had persecuted all of the Christians before becoming saved himself. It's very easy to start listening to what other people say, but sometimes you've got to be able to just, tune them out, silence their voices, because all they are doing is mucking up what it is that has a plan for you where God wants you to go. But again, we need to be very sensitive, because sometimes it's kind of knowing the difference between those. Someone who's giving you advice of what they think you should do that is not good, but then someone else that's giving you advice and it actually clicks. It actually works. We just got to put the two and two together. Psalms 58, that is what we looked at today. And I keep saying I'm going to try and be better at these and getting them done. But I really am. I'm trying to, and I'm really hoping that these really encourage, inspire, and motivate. And for me, it helps me as I'm going through my own journey. And that's the biggest thing for me. Something I've been seeing on Facebook a lot lately is how helping someone else can really help yourself as you're going through certain things in your life. And I believe in that a lot. I believe in that wholeheartedly. But then again, I've had the conversation of how I believe in love and building up one another and really encouraging one another. That is our purpose overall. And then where does that piece go from there of how God wants us to take that to be able to build up one another? Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. As I always say, Psalms 58, you need to go in and you need to read that for yourself. Because, see, we are all on different levels when it comes to that relationship with God. And what I'm seeing in this, not always maybe what somebody else is seeing, because they're in a different place. Could be higher than me, could be lower than me. We all have that different level of relationship because, again, it is a personal relationship that many of us live publicly. But it's a personal relationship. It's one-on-one. It's between you and God, and really being able to move that forward so you can grow yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. Thank you for listening to The Gospel Road. Have a great day. God bless.